this is International Forum. We're taking a look at the rise of gangs in Port-au-Prince. Yes, Haiti to be precise. Last week when it all started, or 2 weeks ago, where there was a prison break where thousands of inmates were released in a deadly penitentiary in Port-au-Prince, occasioned by gang bangers. Various drug cartel came out in March to say they don't like the government of Ariel, and all hell what let loose. Don't forget that Haiti has been plagued by natural disasters. See, the same Haiti, they killed their prime minister or president before they were not elected. They've been able to destroy parliament. They've been able to even wage war against police academy, and they won. Yes, right, the police academy is in shambles. These gangs, how they got their weapon, nobody knows. They just came in, they sacked everything. The only spot remaining is the airport, where the soldiers choose to put up a serious resistance, because if they catch that airport, if they sack the airport, that may just be the beginning of the end of democracy or good governance in Haiti. Reporting right now states that Ariel has resigned. What would make a minister, the prime minister of the country, to resign? He went out for a meeting. Before he could come back, everything has gone topsy-turvy, haywire, no control. And the country right now, as it stands, may just be likened to a failed state. What do you feel about this? What lessons can be learned from this? With me here in the studio, I have a clergyman, a lecturer, Uniben, a political analyst. Join me to welcome Honorable Frank Amego. Welcome to International Forum. I appreciate your coming.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
All right. We're just with the like of Gabriel Ehigato. He is a legal practitioner. If he can make it, definitely is going to share his own thoughts and opinion, but like the same broadcast and the show definitely will go on. Haiti is under siege. Port-au-Prince, the capital, is a shadow of itself. How did it get to that point?
Yes, without an object, there will be no shadow. Something led to something, and something happened. Haiti, I never would believe that these challenges you're having would not have come up later than this. I expect it to have come up much earlier. Just as you mentioned, we have had a fair share of the natural disasters, and no thanks to political instability. The various activities carried out by those gangs, I got to know that the brain behind it, the leader of that gang, is a special forces police officer. So the person is trained. And even if his members are not trained, he will go ahead and train them. That's why they're able to carry out a lot of massive destructions of lives and property. And the country before now was the wealthiest in the Americas, but right now the poorest, owing to bad leadership. As at 2020, their
Mr. Henry is currently
GDP
stranded in
per capita was $2,800 US, and as at 2020, while that of Nigeria at 2020 was $4,800. So one could see from that perspective that Nigeria was even doing better. But after 2 years, in 2022, the 2,800 GDP per capita they had now crashed to 1,745.9 US dollars. So that shows that the country wasn't doing well at any time. As I earlier said, the wealthiest in the Americas, but right now the poorest. And they rank 163 out of 191 poor countries in the world. The leadership has been their major challenge. Just as in Nigeria, if we don't have a good leadership, things that would have been done seamlessly will become something that you have to pray about it, you have to trust God, you have to tighten your belts, you have to hit the ground running, you have to do so many things. whereby in some other same countries, things go on almost like by default. Things move on gradually. It will interest to know that a lot of Nigerians that are religious in Nigeria here, the moment they get abroad, they become less religious because the system is working. And the leader of the gang, a special forces police officer, Jimmy, that's his name, and popularly referred to as barbecue. I will know what barbecue is. It's to roast whatever animal it is, that fish or meat. So he's playing along his name. And this gang, their main aim is to rise up against the present administration. Good enough that the prime minister resigned. That was the best option for him. Because you can't rule over a people that are hungry, are tired of your system, and they're not happy in any way. So it would have been better off that he resigned, and thank God he did. The way forward...
Hold on, before talking about the way forward. Someone saying that all these things started because of politics. Don't forget that Wyclef, popular musician, contested for that position.
Yes.
He lost the election before the one that was killed won. They say that all these things started because of politics. All politicians in Haiti that do have control over sectors of gangs, over sectors of cities that are not really in tune with what is happening in the country. Politicians on the line, according to them, they are the beginning of all this mayhem we're seeing in Haiti, vis-a-vis Port-au-Prince.
Yeah, there's a political misrule. If you look at the population of Haiti, it's about 11.9 or so million, and up to 12 million in population. One would expect that the leadership, the political leadership, will be able to galvanize their resources and manage the few people at their disposal. There are times to thank God for Nigeria, whereby you have one sitting president overseeing more than 200 million people. Just 11.9, you are finding it difficult. So all those that have shown interest in leadership, I'm very sure that they had nothing, maybe at best little, about governance. A lot of persons just want to get there, like the Emilio Con slogan, "It's my turn to be there." And you get there, you don't have what it takes to bring to bear whatever political promises you have made. Why the anger is on the high side, you have made a lot of promises. And people believed you. And you got there, you made a shipwreck of your system. It was close to what I did in my family home so many years ago, whereby a new TV station came on board. It was ITV then. We had another station that used to talk about news, every news. You know, at the younger age, you wouldn't like to listen to news. You want to watch films, watch musicals and all that. So while they were listening to a particular news, I just begged everybody that there's a news station I want to tune to. Everybody will like it. Okay, go ahead and do it. They believed in me at that point. So no sooner that I tried to tune to the news station than I failed. They now said, it's okay. Get it back to the former station. I could not. So we could say that like as an initial gra. I will put borehole in all the rivers. I will draw light wires from the sun down to the earth. And you try to prove it to people, and they believed it. You want to convince them, you'll be very happy. And there came an election, you won. Now you don't have a singular idea as to how you're able to crystallize all those promises you have made. Then what would you expect the electorates to do? Anger will begin to brew up over and over again. Their administration will fade off with time based on the tenure. And that will come with one or two lies again. And over and over again, it became a kind of a cumulative aggression. They were building up aggregated aggression, building up over the years, and now for a specially trained police officer to now declare that he himself will create a gang and lead the gang. That shows to us the level of inhumanity meted on them by previous political leaders. And it is no way helping them in their day-to-day lives. Is it poverty you're talking about? You could see poverty manifesting in the lives of the citizens of Haiti. And it got a time, and I'm sure they would have learned our pidgin English, all done and die. Let's go ahead and face these people. We are aware that persons will die, but let's ensure that we're able to get what we want in terms of leadership. That's what is causing the present challenge. Various interventions have been made. As they make interventions, it's failing, and everything is zeroed down on bad leadership.
Now, talking about bad leadership, they've gotten so much aids from individuals, NGOs, countries, just to put them back on their feet. Is it the failure of democracy? Is that the reason why we are seeing what is happening right now in Haiti vis-a-vis the capital, Port-au-Prince, or is just individual greed and selfishness?
There's no greed there, there's no selfishness. They are hungry, they are angry. And if you understand, Haiti is a Catholic-dominated country. And I'm thinking, I'm not very sure, I'm thinking because they have a large number of African descent. They are majorly blacks. Maybe more than 90% of them they migrated from Africa. Is it the African challenge they are having on one leg? On the other leg, we'll trace it back to their colonial masters. I'm sure it's the French people that colonized them. And no wonder all French colonies are having problems up to now. Maybe it's a system of colonization over the years snowballed into what we're saying. Though they cannot be recolonized, but what they want now is a kind of leadership. If any country or organization wants to help them and help them very well, they should create a leadership institute whereby people will be trained over the years. Should be in the curriculum of each level of education, starting from primary, civic education, or whatever you want to call it, so that they understand leadership, selflessness, patriotism. A citizen can only be patriotic if he or she has a nationalistic attitude. Without nationalism, there's no patriotism. Because the moment you see your country as ours, you tend to show absolute loyalty to it. But when I believe that this country belongs to some group of persons, your loyalty will be challenged at that point. So the level of leadership decay over the years is an aggregated aggression that we are saying. It's not something that just snowballed once and it became what it is now.
So that means that democracy has failed them, is that what you're saying?
Yes, that's failed them. And the style in which they were colonized, and the style of colonization, in a way, tampers with your culture. And that cultural value has been misplaced. If by the time you are colonizing them and you entrenched it in their constitution that who does this or does that, this is what happens, I'm sure they will behave well. And because the Catholic-dominated nation, I also understand that their constitution has so much to do with Catholicism. So these people are not just wayward people, so to speak. They have some level of religious beliefs that would have kept them all these years to be calm.
Thank you so much for staying tuned. If you just joined us, this is International Forum. We're taking a look at what is happening right now in Haiti. The rise of gang violence in Port-au-Prince. That has led to the Prime Minister resigning, saying he doesn't want to have anything to do with the country anymore in terms of leadership. Barbecue right now is ravaging. Mind you, it's not the only gang leaders. There's plenty of gangs in Haiti, everyone trying to grab onto territory, saying that this is not tough, nobody should come here. Let's take a look at the main man in court right now, Barbecue. He complained about corruption. He complained about hunger. He complained about unemployment. And of course, we're asking for the government of the day to give account of the monies given to them when they were in trouble. Now, he has chosen this path. A well-trained, well-decorated police officer. Those of the upholding the law, those that peace reigns in Haiti is now the one or among the ones unleashing mayhem on the citizens of Haiti. The step is taken right now. Is it the right step in the right direction?
Yes, if you check the pulse of Jimmy at this moment, barbecue, it will rightly tell you that what he's doing is the right thing as far as he's concerned. He is trying to do things the other way. And that's why he had, and he still has, followers. He has people that believe in him. And what you have the other groups emanating is to further join forces. All these various gangs are not in disagreement. It's a case of you hold on to the east, I hold on to the west. Let's ensure that things change for the better. And one will not see the good things that Jimmy is doing until the right set of leadership is instituted. He is in the heat of the matter and he knows where the shoe pinches. It's just like it happened in, was it Ghana or so, whereby some former leaders were caught together and killed, sort of. It was in Ghana or so. It also happened in Japan. Japan was somebody's name. The original name of Japan is Edo, E-D-O. And the Tokyo capital has remained like that. Japan, as a man, observed that the way the country, Edo, was going on then was not the right direction. So he called all the religious leaders together and killed all of them. And came up with his own ideologies that this is the direction Edo should take. And once people believed in him at that point, things were now working out well. They now changed the name Edo to Japan. Japan was somebody's name. And that's why up to now, historically, the Japanese women still dress like the Benin women. That's why the highest greeting in Japan today is the highest greeting in Benin, like Domosa. They still greet like that. So it takes one person to rise up to the challenge. That's what Jimmy is doing. We have made a lot of suggestions on the way forward. Where they're not looking for who will bear the cat. A special forces police officer, well trained, well decorated, as you said, decided to bear the cat. I will bear the cat. Come what may, let me bear the cat. All die and I die. And in a way to the people of Haiti, the man is making progress. Otherwise, there would have been a rival group against his own. So the various groups we are saying, they are in outright collabo with Jimmy. Otherwise, we will be having some dissenting voices here and there. So whatever reliefs given to them, I'm not sure that there's a case of mismanagement, because those donor agencies would not have given the donations to Jimmy. They would have given them to, let's say, the just resigned Prime Minister. There's no right-thinking organization that will give relief packages to a kind of a rebel group.
We'll come into that, because right now, whether I would like it or not, Haiti needs help.
Very well.
But right now, the rebellious groups, they are there rampaging in the city. Do you think help will come in this format? Knowing fully well that as it stands right now, there's no government on the ground in Haiti. So tell me, who would you want to deal with?
Yes.
We're talking about AIDS and supply.
Yeah.
Who would a reasonable NGO want to deal with in Haiti?
If the NGO or NGOs will want to help the people of Haiti, they know where they are. You get to a community, if you know you are hungry, line up, feed them.
Who will grant them passage?
No, there's no hindrance to passage.
Because right now, from reports, is that you see dead bodies littering the grounds of Port-au-Prince, especially those of prisoners that were killed in the prison break. Don't forget that some of them are not in tune with what Jimmy was doing. They protested, of course, they were killed. And they died. So tell me, how can UN come in? How can NGO come in? How can individuals come in into a war-ravaged zone? Because right now, it's war in Haiti. For them to stop a Prime Minister plane from taxiing the airport or touch land on the airport, that means that's gone beyond control. It took the part of the military to at least wage something like a war against the advancement of barbecue's troop.
I like your qualification, like a war. There's no outright war. How else would you describe that between Russia and Ukraine. The Ukrainians have been attended to. Even in a 2-year war, Ukraine is also attending to Nigeria in terms of grain supply and all that. So between Israel and what's happening in Gaza, there is still some level of help. So that of Haiti, there's a...
But don't forget that there is a government on the ground in these countries you've mentioned.
Yes.
Zelensky is there as the president of Ukraine. We still have a prime minister and of course a government in Gaza not supporting Hamas. But in this particular situation, there is no government on the ground. They've been overrun. The police academy destroyed, prison destroyed, airport almost been sacked. Nothing right now is working. How can help come?
Help will come if the donor agencies really want to help. The airport is still very active and viable for any aircraft to land. And you must not use the airport to land. A helicopter does not necessarily need an airport, just an open field. So if they want to help them, they can, and of course they should. Because what they are fighting for over the years are things that are obvious. There's no point that maybe Jimmy wants to lead his gang to take over the government. No. They are saying to themselves and to the world that cares to listen that the way they are governed is inhuman. And if you check the country's temperature, it is very high. And once the temperature gets so high like that, in the human body, for instance, it can lead to other several organs of the body shutting down. So if you want to help them in terms of food, clothing, shelter, you can find your ways there and help them. Several countries have made attempts. US, Canada, even one of the African countries, Kenya also, has made an attempt to help them out. So the cause they are fighting is a just cause. Can you imagine the wealthiest colony, that's Haiti, in the North Americas, now the poorest? How do you extrapolate that? If they were the first before, now the third or the fifth. Now you turn upside down that they are not the poorest. So people saw them when they were the wealthiest. And those people that saw them in wealth is now seeing them in poverty. So you cannot blame Jimmy outrightly. Jimmy and his gang, they are trying to bring a reversal to the poverty, to the challenges that they are having. It may not have the full procedural attempt to it, but it can be helped. If before now, UN played its major role, Haiti would have been like this. It's not a thing we are talking about in 2020, 2022, last year, early in the year. It happened years back because the downturn of the country was not an emergency. It didn't just erupt suddenly. It was nosediving over the years that has snowballed into something else. So if countries want to help them, these are defenseless people, and the persons that were killed, of course, there's no administration that doesn't enjoy the support of some persons. I'm sure those that lost their lives were trying to defend the bad government. So to break prison yards, to break into other places, was an attempt to free them. That even though you are in the prison yard, we are also in the prison yard because yours is just limited by the walls. But for us, we don't have access to anything. Let everybody come out from wherever we have been incarcerated. Let's fight this fight together. So let donor agencies or countries come and rescue them. You can see, as PD has shown to us, the place is highly devastated.
Burnt to the ground.
This was not done by someone that has eaten and has eaten very well. These are things done by aggrieved persons that are ready to lay down their lives. The role of the military constitutionally is to protect the integrity of each country. They are just playing out their constitutional roles. But among the military officers there, you still see a lot of them from poor and wretched homes. But you just have to wear the camouflage to defend your country. This onslaught wasn't done out of joy. A lot of things are gone so deep down that the only hope that they have is what they are doing now. Whether it is good or bad, now they have signed their signature on it that we are displeased with the way this country is going to. And America should help. Canada should help, as they used to do.
No, but before we come to America helping us, Canada supplying aid, someone saying that this may just lead to a showdown between the military and, of course, the gangs. As it stands right now, there's no civilian government. Ariel, the Prime Minister, chose to resign, say he doesn't want a part of this anymore. Do you see the military taking over? And if they do take over, do you see them overpowering these gangs, especially the one led by Ariel, especially the one led by Jimmy, aka Barbecue?
So military intervention is foreseeable because it's part of their constitutional rules to ensure that things are in order. Then as you are doing that, constitute a new government. Let the military take over first. Then let them conduct a democratically elected government. Then if the gang or the groups...
As it's going right now, they don't want democracy anymore.
And what about thing that works for them? What about thing? That's the danger of colonialism. They colonize people based on their mentality, not the mentality of the residents. A change of attitude, a change of culture, a change of everything. You have to find out, ab initio, how have these people been living? If you go down memory lane, why was there Benin massacre? Is it 1897 or so?
Yeah.
You know, you want to rule Benin Kingdom contrary to our system. We already had an existing system. What you do as a colonial master is to understand what is going on there and assess it and know where to come in. Not that anything you are doing stop totally. Let's start all over. There's no starting all over. You didn't come to Nigeria, to Africa, and you met forests. Just like they said, somebody discovered River Niger. River Niger that God created, you just came from somewhere. The river that has been existing since creation, you just came that you discovered it. How can you discover a river? River has been there. So they made us to believe so many things. So the colonization challenge has to be resolved. Let people live based on their beliefs, their religiosities and all that. Let them live. They were living before. How come they were the wealthiest in the Americas? If they can go back to that page that made them the wealthiest, why can't they go back there now? Let them go back to that page by flipping it. I'm sure that's what Jimmy is doing. Let's flip backwards. Where did we miss it? There are already pages that are blank. Nothing is written on it. Let's go back to what made us the wealthiest. So if the military is not passionate about that, I'm thinking they should be dispassionate, because what is the major reason for these gangs being formed? If you're able to unravel that, they will observe that Jimmy was right, that things must change for the better. But now that the military has taken over, which I pray should, then we'll come to a round table talk on the way forward. If Jimmy and his boys still insist that there's no round table talk, let the military deal with them.
But do you see Jimmy having this round table talk with the military, knowing fully that the military that the one resisting Jimmy's gangs right now?
They should resist the gang, because the military should not be alive to see lives and property being destroyed. It's against the ethics of their jobs. So let them ensure that peace returns to that environment and provide solutions to how Haiti will bounce back to life. It's not enough to shoot aside any moving object, whether it's a gang or not a gang. By that, you're not helping the situation. Let the military understand the remote and maybe the immediate cause of the upheaval. Once that one is done, call all the aggrieved parties together and let's have a way out of this problem. Some of them have it historically, they are the wealthiest. So how come we are not the poorest? Where did we miss it? So if they're able to retrace their steps to going back to where they became the wealthiest, I'm sure in a short while, things will bounce back for the better.
As it stands right now, citizens are beginning to run away from Haiti. Even before this disturbance or this war-like situation, they've chosen to leave Haiti alone. Take a look at the clip, get to see some people just carrying their belongings and running for their lives. Some are saying that this is going to generate to a full-blown war between the military and, of course, some gangs, even the ones led by Jimmy, all because of who will now become the #1 man. Do you see that happening? After all, Jimmy, according to you, is fighting for the rights of the people. The military also, according to them, their fighting for the rights of the people is all about Haiti. Who will come out tops? Do you think it's going to be a kind of, a full-blown war in Haiti?
It can't be any full-blown war. Two wrongs, they say, can't make it right. If what Jimmy and his guys are doing is wrong, then the military should come and make it right. So,
but would Jimmy allow them to come to make it right, to come and make it right? Because they're the one fighting already.
Yeah, we cannot preempt that.
Because
yes.
no, right now there is a serious war between Jimmy's gang and the military. It's happening right now in Haiti.
I'm aware, because there's a military show-off of power, of might. Now we have arrived, so all of you down tools. It's not a thing you can just come by like that. You're not talking to a lay person. As you have been trained in use of arms and ammunition, Jimmy also was trained. So there's a common ground for them to talk, not by harassing them. They're not asking they want to topple the government. No, they're not asking that. They're only demanding for something right, something for the betterment, for the military, for the civilians, for everybody, such that we have a good atmosphere to live in.
By chasing away the ruling prime minister.
They should chase him away.
By saying he doesn't have any right to come back to Haiti.
That was the best.
Don't forget they killed their first prime minister before this one came into power. And right now they're after his life. How is it going to work?
It will. Because if they are truthful to themselves, the one they killed, was he doing the right thing? I know it's not good to really kill unnecessarily.
Some to presidential powers and that was it.
Judicial.
Yes.
But was that person doing the right thing? The one that just resigned now was seen on the path of making progress. No. Just it is the African mentality in them. Africans find it difficult to resign, but thank God has resigned. Things you were asked to do or things you promised to do for the people and for the country is a far cry. Even with the telescope, you cannot see that thing coming. So it behoves on you as a responsible citizen to say, oh, gentlemen and ladies, I'm sorry, I thought I could do it, but the way things are turning out now, I just can't. So I'm resigning. Not only that, as he openly resigns, they begin to beg him, please don't resign. He said, no, what I wanted to do, I couldn't. So don't worry, we'll back you up. So not to go and resign from the diaspora that I'm not going back there again. Were you doing the right thing while you were there? So what I see there, the military should, in a way, calm their nerves, ensure that peace returns to that country, and profile solutions, long-lasting solutions, to the extent that the country will become as it was, where it became the wealthiest some years ago.
But someone saying for this you're suggesting to really take place, Jimmy needs to down tool. He will be arrested, he'll be prosecuted, and if possible sent to jail for peace to at least reign, or was at the beginning of the roadmap to peace. What do you feel about this suggestion?
Arresting him will aggravate the challenge. What I expect them to do, the military, if they are going to ensure peace, is to call him for a peace talk. It's at a point of discussion. Godfather said, at the point of negotiation, don't be angry. So it's at the point of negotiation, you now observe that Jimmy is...
But he also said negotiate from the point of power.
Yes. That if at the point of negotiating with Jimmy, they discover that this man, even if you give him the country to be the president or prime minister, he will still continue in that same attitude, then you can ask for his arrest. But now somebody should call him. What is your challenge? In all these things you've been doing, what is or what was your aim? Then he's able to marshal his points and they become believable. They may ask him, join us to make Haiti a better country. it's not enough to jail him. And in an attempt to jail him, his boys will rise up much more. It becomes the war you have been envisaging between between the gangs and the military. And by that, you have done no good. So if that's the military approach, they are wrong. Call them. We are all the same country. And we are doing this in an attempt to make sure that things go well. This was the attempt we wanted. So the scenario I gave to you, I wanted to tune to a station whereby we have modern day programs. Let's run away from the old traditional. You have to wait, you have to see so many lines, yellow, blue, green. You wait from there, national anthem, and you are still waiting. To a station whereby they'll be showing things without all those unnecessary formalities. So my attempt then was to give to everybody in the home a new sense of broadcast. And I couldn't achieve it. And I'm not regretting it. You're not regretting it. So let's call Jimmy together. What were you trying to do? Those people that have lost their lives, how do we compensate their families? All those destructions made by your gang, how do we restore them? Maybe Jimmy has a way out. Maybe. So let them call him for a peace talk. And at that attempt, they will now know whether to institute a committee, to constitute a committee, and to deal with him or the situation. But right now, to say, who sees Jimmy, bring him here, life or dead, that becomes adding petrol to the fire. So the military, if they really want to intervene, should ensure that all warring parties, now we have the gang of Jimmy and the non-Jimmy gangs, is for the military to call them together. First, ensure that no more destruction of lives and property. If there's any resistance, the military should do what they need to do. Yes. So, but once there's a level of calmness, there should be some level of discussion.
All right, now, so tell me what's the way forward, because it stands right now the war is still raging, Port-au-Prince is on fire, Prime Minister resigned, no government ministry is trying to calm the calm situation. How do you think all this should be resolved, and how long do you think this will last?
Yeah, this impasse will be resolved depending on the seriousness of whosoever or whatsoever that is put in place by way of intervention and all that. So, and the seriousness, not that you're rubbing the surface and you're saying you are helping matters. So, what are the grievances of the people of Haiti? Are their grievances real? Of course they are. They have been victims of bad governance. So, how do we restore hope to them? While that is going on, give them some social amenities, call the warring parties,
factions, yes,
together. If their aims are genuine, if they are not, they face the law of the land, war crimes and all that. But if their aims are genuine and their approach wrong, they can be cautioned. They can be warned. That's how to do it. You wanted to, they say, don't cut off the head because to cure headache. You don't have to cut off somebody's head because it will cure his headache. Oh, we didn't know. That was the best approach we could think of. So now this is a reality. So let various countries, especially the UN should come up to ensure that these people are brought back to their former stand, whereby they were peacefully coexisting. They are brothers and sisters, and they have a common religion, Catholicism. So let them do all that.
All right.
If they do that, the country will come back to normalcy.
Thank you so much, Honorable Frank Amego. Let's see how there's a panel that stands right now. Ariel has resigned. As it stands also, the state of emergency declared in Haiti. The gangs are still rampaging, they are still ravaging, and the military also is trying to ensure that peace reigns. How do you think all this will pan out? How do you think the dust settles? Only time definitely will tell. Thank you so much, sir, once more. I appreciate your wonderful analysis.
I appreciate us well.
We'll do it again next week, Tuesday, God willing. Bye for now.